Alright guys, this is going to be a really quick lesson because, it doesn't take forever to look professional, that's what I say. So let's say this is your website. Looks pretty good, you got the subscribe to the news feed kind of thing, or the RSS feed. Follow us on Twitter, that's really good. It's got all your social networking things. But here's the thing, the site doesn't look that professional. And the reason why I say that is that you see a lot of this, going on the website, but you want to have what they call a splash page or a front page that people go to. The reason why it makes your site look more professional is because you're not selling yourself early. This is what I mean. Most coaching websites are blog-based because you guys have to write things that are recent and current to what people need. If you're trying to appeal to people who are in certain situations, whether they're blue-collar, white-collar workers, whether it's people who are in the technology field or more in the business or marketing side, you want to be able to appeal to these guys. And you want to write things that really draw them in. Well, the thing is that if they're already reading your blog, they might not be so drawn into your website because they've already read like some of the titles to your blog going like, oh, these titles don't appeal to me at all. They instantly close your website and you lose them as a fan. And I'm speaking from absolute experience here from the websites that I've dealt with. A lot of people, if they come to your website knowing that they can see like everything you're doing right up front, they instantly get turned off if they don't see something they're interested in. And I'm going to show you how to just capture that. So let me show you what to do here. If you go right over here, there's going to be an area under the reading area of the settings, and it says front page displays your latest post. You don't want that. You want it to be a static page. You want your front page to be called the welcome page, and you want your post page to be the blog. And you're going to save changes. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did we get these things here? I don't see those options on mine. I'll show you how to get those options very simply. First thing we're going to do is go to the pages area. So under pages, click on all pages. You might not have an entry for blog or an entry for welcome, but we're going to make it. What you do is click on Add New. From Add New, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. From here, it's going to be blank. Type the word blog and just save it. Once you save it, let's go back to the All Pages area. You're going to see an entry here that says blog. It doesn't have to be anything in it. It's just a placeholder. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Next, you're going to make another one called welcome. That's just an example. It doesn't have to be called welcome. It can be called anything you want. But the welcome page will be the splash page that everybody's going to get to. So right here, you're going to type in the title. Now, this is some more of that web page writing jargon that I can't understand, but that's what they use for websites to make them look pretty. So basically, what you're going to do here is you're going to make a post. Now, if you've ever used Microsoft Word, you pretty much know how to use this. There's your bold, your italicized, your strike-throughs, your bulleted, your numbers, block quotes, center, left align, right align, and then right up here you can add an image. So let's imagine for a second, this is a professional picture of you. You went ahead, you got your glamour shots done, you're looking really nice. It's on your business card there, the picture of you and your logo, and you're like, oh man, I want to make sure I add that picture to my website on the front page. Simple. Just click on this guy here and just follow the prompts like I showed you with the last picture that you upload, and then you want to either set it as a featured image. So let me just show you the prompts. Pulling up. And you can either set it as a featured image, or let's go back to the media library. You can do this and insert into post. I suggest inserting it into post just because it's a lot easier this way. Once you do insert into post, it'll drop the image somewhere here on the page. You can basically take that image, you can left align it and the text will fall next to it. You can go ahead and center it, text will fall below it. Or you can do like a left align, and if you want, you can keep hitting the enter button and the text will fall under it. But all depends what you want to do. I find a lot of coaches do this where they have their picture here and all the text on the side. Makes it look a bit better and more eye-catching because it shows your picture of yourself and then what you stand for. What you're going to want to do on your front page, you want to do things that draw people in. Never, ever, 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 ever on a coaching website do you want to tell people how much it costs. You want it to be much, much later on they find out that detail. So because of that, you want to write down things that you stand for. You tell them what kind of clientele you have. If your clientele are people who are famous, not saying famous as in like Oprah Winfrey, but saying like that they're very famous in their field. You might not want to give out their names, but you can say that I've helped CEO level or presidential level executives that work at companies such as, and you name whatever company it is. The reason behind it is that if, let's say, I am somebody who is in the business world and I want to see somebody who's talked to some really top tier business people, and I go, oh, I've worked with such companies such as, Hewlett Packard or Oracle or Evectus, things of that nature, then it sits there, and if people are in that field, they go, wow, this person has talked to similar people of other companies and helped them out. They have an edge. Maybe I could get that same edge that they have. It's just a way of just selling yourself better. The other reason why that you want to do this instead of having your blog showing first is at first you have to sell people on yourself before you can sell people on what you have to say. Meaning which is that if people don't like what you're trying to sell about yourself, they probably won't go and read any of your blog posts. But if they like who you are, they'll read anything. They'll even read posts that make no sense to them. They'll just read it just so they can say that they felt like they completed something. On the website that we have, odinspark.com, we have a stop page that tells people about the website and all the stuff that we can do for you. And then as you go into the blog, people who I know who don't even buy things from the website still go to the website just because of the fact they like the idea that, that we are a company that stand for helping people and people who like doing it yourself. So that's why we get the hits that we get. Now, don't worry. I know what you're thinking. But if they aren't buying anything, I'm going to lose money. By the time we're done with this whole series, you'll find that you can make money off of even the most non-committal customer that you have. Non-committal customer is somebody that I'm speaking of that will commit to coming to your website but never commit to actually spending any money. I know it sounds weird to think that you can still turn them into being a customer, but don't worry, you can. So anyways, as I was stating, that's for a much later episode of this whole series of how to make a coaching site. But like I said, you put in your information here. You want to go ahead and click the save or update button here. And then once you do that, let's go to the front page, shall we? So that's what it looks like now. But let's just go ahead and refresh it. Bam. There it is. In front of everybody. You can't even see the featured posts or anything like that because you are on our welcome page. And as it says here, there goes your welcome page. You click blog. And there you go. You're back to the blog site. So if I go over here, go back to welcome, takes me back here. And if you go to blog, it takes you back to the blog site. Now, hold on one second here because I'm about to go ahead and resave it because I know I showed you what it looked like on the last page and this image is just centered. So give me 1 second. Let me go back and save it. And I'll come back here and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, there we go. I saved it. As you can see, image goes here. And then the text falls to the side. Very pleasing to the eye. Very easy for people to read and go through. Like I said, I think people really like it. Another thing that it does also is that depending on your theme, because every theme is different, it has this here recent post. So technically people can still read this, and when they're done, they'll see this stuff here on the side. Oh, I can click here. I can go over here. But I want to just show you one last thing, because now that we've created this, we might want to fine tune it a bit. We go back into the website, and you're going to see this thing called menus. Now in the menus area, you can actually change around what you want your menus to look like. So let's go ahead and create a menu. Oh, I'm sorry, put in a name. Oh, test. Okay, so we created it. Once we create it, you can sit there and go, okay, we want top menu or number one menu to be test. And then we got to create another one here. And we're going to call it dummy test. Not making fun of anybody, it's just, you call it a dummy code if it's just a code you're writing just to test things out. So you got test, dummy test. So what you're going to do here for test, click on that. It's going to pull it up here, and let's add some stuff to it. So we're going to want, let's see, we want the welcome, want the blog, and let's see, I have a page called sitemap. Don't worry, we'll get into that later. And then once we do that, you can add it to the menu. All right. Then you can actually save the menu. Saving it as test, top. So the top one's going to be it's called test one, also known as or test. It's going to be known as menu one. Saving that, and then go over to dummy, and then from dummy, You can make it anything else you want it to be. So that's the most recent. But if you do view all, you can see all these other pages here as well. So view all as well here. So what you can do, you can make these areas, these are the categories. So you can actually do that and then add the menu here. They show up there. Click save. And then once it saves, go down, click dummy test, and click save. Let me explain to you what we're doing. If we go back to the page. As you can see, it's pretty crowded up here, and you may not want everything to show up on the front page. So what we're doing is, by customizing it here to only have the categories show up on level 2 and having all of the pages show up on level 1, kind of separates it, makes it a little more pleasing to the eye. Let's see if we were successful. Let's reload, and once you reload, there you go. There goes the welcome, there goes the blog, there goes the sitemap, and then you have coffee house chat, featured, and news. So basically, if I go to blog, it'll take me to the blog, and then if I click on coffee house chat, it'll only take me to things within that category, and as you can see, there's nothing in that category. Go to featured, it only shows me the featured posts, and if I go back to welcome, it takes me back to the welcome page. The reason why I'm showing you this little trick is that sometimes you look at the layout and it might not look exactly the way you want. And I know you're like, oh, that should have been in the themes area. Why didn't you put it there? Well, the reason is that, once you get it to this point, that's when you really want to fine tune the theme. So instead of combining them into one lesson, I want to split it up so you can actually see the logical path of how to do things. Because in the end, you're a coach, right? You don't tell everybody how to get to the end. You teach them one step at a time. So it's much like what you're doing. I'm just showing you one step at a time. But here we go. It took us less than 15 minutes, and you have been able to not only create a front page, I showed you how to add the image, and also how to custom your theme out so that you can actually make it look more aesthetically pleasing for the people who go to your website. So, tune in next time. We're going to move into how to add YouTube videos to your website. YouTube videos are a great way to get your face out there, to have people be able to see you, understand what you have to say, and on top of that, if you're popular enough, a way to generate some extra revenue. Remember I told you how to make revenue off of people who don't even want to spend money on your website? See, it's little things like this I'm going to teach you that make you recoup any loss that any person might give to you. Sure, they might go to your site 100 times a day, and they may not buy a single thing, but the fact they're going to your website, you could still be making money off of them. Tune in next time, guys. We're going to go into YouTube.